So, that's out of the way. We'll get started. So who wants to fully automate their sales process, right? Sell more stuff, make more money. All of us do, right? So my name is Belcher. I've sold about $200 million, and I think that's a pretty conservative, probably a really conservative number of products using the system that I'm about to share with you. 200 million is a lot. It's quite a lot when you consider that 1/100th of 1% of companies get past $10 million in sales. That's a lot. I've made millions of presentations. Millions of people watch my presentations. You all have at one time or another. If you've ever bought anything from Ryan, probably I created the message that he read to you. We created it together. All right. Most of the people that I've sold to, I've never had to meet before. Right. So it's a little bit different form of selling. But what I'm about to teach you is usable in face-to-face selling, webinar selling, teleseminar selling, selling from stage. It doesn't matter. It's all the same. When I write presentations for a stage, I use this same system. When I write presentations for webinars, I use this same system. Sales letters, same system. Going to see a client, same system. Going into a private equity business, going to a private equity meeting to negotiate a percentage of a company or stock in a company, exact same system. Doesn't matter. So how did I do it? By creating the most advanced selling system on earth. Everything you think you know about selling right now is bullshit. You probably don't know what you think you know. All right? The difference is, I don't mean that to be condescending in any way, it's that, how do I explain this? A lot of you in here, I know there are some really accomplished salespeople in here. As a matter of fact, two of the best in the world are in this room right now, way better than me. And I think what they'll see is they've been doing stuff with unconscious competence for years and not knowing exactly why what they're doing works, right? Once you realize exactly why what you're doing is working, you'll realize that part of what you're doing is working, part of what you're doing is not. You put those pieces together, and you're going to come out of here with a totally different lens on everything that you do selling-wise. The world's best salespeople, even I don't want to bring up names, even the guys in the back corner, they have a hard time competing with me, right? They have a really hard time competing with you, the best in the world, because of the system. Competitors with better products than me still can't compete with me. That's sad, but people believe that if I build the best widget, obviously I'm going to sell more, right? Don't work that way. Sometimes it works that way if you get lucky. Most of the time it don't, all right? I can't see this thing. Hacks that sell by price, I love those guys. I kill them all day long and twice on Sunday and make way more money than they do, right? So if you're worried about guys pricing you out of the market, don't. Why? Because I have a proven selling system. And I know why people buy, and it's not why you think. That's going to be the biggest aha today. Of how many of you really feel like you know why your customer buys what you got? Yeah, I bet you're wrong. The few of you that say yes, I'm betting that, and I bet at the end of the next 2 hours you're going to say, I was wrong. Like, I know why you think, and you're wrong. Why do you think people buy? I know what this gentleman back here sells it. Why do you think people buy what you sell? That ain't why. All right, and I'll explain why in a minute. All right, and allow me to prove my point about systems. What's the most delicious hamburger? Who's ever had just a hamburger that was beyond belief, most delicious hamburger you've ever had in the world? Lance? Yeah. Where'd you have it? Strip club. My man. Give me a half a muffaletta, hold a hair. And I order fries. Where at? Strip club where?
In North Beach. It was my birthday party. My girlfriend organized it. All my friends were there, and it was an awesome burger.
Wow. So that must be, would you say that's the best burger in the world? Probably?
Yeah.
Best one you ever had? So they must be the biggest hamburger company in the world, right? They got the best hamburger in the world, right?
Actually, I think they're out of business.
Really? Well, these guys obviously have the best hamburger in the world, right? Don't they? Who thinks that McDonald's has the best hamburger on earth? Right? Well, you guys are stupid. Obviously they do, right? No, they don't. They have the best system for selling hamburgers on the planet. Look at this. Last year, McDonald's sold $23.5 billion worth of hamburgers. Worth of shitty hamburgers that are relatively overpriced now. They used to be cheap. $23.5 billion worth of shitty hamburgers that are overpriced. That's the power of having a selling system. Okay? Systems make people interchangeable. A lot of your businesses, how many of your businesses depend on the people that work in them? Your employees, your staff, you, right? Everybody should have raised their hand. The rest of you are still asleep. The systems make people interchangeable. McDonald's, if you walk into a McDonald's, you know what they got back in their kitchens now? Everything's pictures. Here's a hamburger. The 3 pickles go here. And they got a triangle drawn to show you they go in a triangular shape. They've got machines that squirt on the exact, they pull it down and they hit one button, it squirts on the exact amount of ketchup and mustard and whatever that goes on, special sauce that goes on the thing. Right? Everything's this automated. It's McDonald's. We use this term all the time around the office. We McDonald's the process. That means you make it to where a totally untrained person can understand it and do it. All right? And that's part of a system. We'll talk about that as we move on. Sales systems unfairly dominate markets and crush competitors. I mean, how many people have heard the argument of, Walmart's going to kill our little town, or Home Depot put the poor guy in a hardware store out of business? Why do you think that is? Is the hardware store stuff at the hardware store better or worse than the hardware stuff at the Home Depot? It's the same. It don't matter. Nail's a nail. A hammer's a hammer. Even the prices don't matter. They have better systems for running their business. They have better systems for attracting customers. They have better systems for acquiring a customer. They know what a customer's worth, right? And they know exactly what that customer's looking for. Those little businesses lose by efficiency and by not trying. And it's unfortunate. It is unfortunate. But it's the way that it is. Sometimes you're the windshield, sometimes you're the bug. Right? Right now, a lot of you guys in here are the bugs. And you just hadn't ran across a windshield yet. It's going to happen. Right? Every industry eventually consolidates. All of them that are worth being in eventually consolidate. Who wins at the end of the day? Sales systems build billion-dollar brands. Look at this. Who knows Ginzu Knives? Who ever heard of them? You know the last time they were on TV? About 20 years ago with any force. Right? But they used a selling system to build a big brand. The Snuggie. Right? It's a joke, right? It's a billion-dollar joke. Anybody want to know how the Snuggie business works? How all that TV business works? You know how much money they make selling a Snuggie on TV? Anybody want to guess? None. They don't make any. They make none. They sell them for 2 years with no profit. But the day they do what they call the retail dump, they make all the money. So all they're trying to do is acquire customers, build brand recognition, and get ready for the day that they make $100 million profit in an afternoon, right? You know why? A system of selling. They could outlast everybody else. Right? They ate all their competitors because they had a better what? A better system. All right. Systems will get you stock in companies. This is a company that we got stock in this past year, and now we have 12 more just like it in the past year that we've been able to take our selling system, the systems that we use and the processes digital marketer does, and get companies to give us big equity stakes in their business. It's because selling systems are magic to the masses. They don't have any idea. That's the downer to the people who are the little guys out there, the guys that don't know anything about this, right? They're getting crushed by their competitor, and they never even know, they never heard the truck coming. They don't know it. They got hit by a train, they never heard the whistle. Those are the guys that are in our $15,000 or $25,000 mastermind group that meets 4 times a year. And some of these guys the guys in the front have been in the group for 3 or 4 years, Some of the guys are new. The ladies are new. Lori Taylor is in our group, and Lori's awesome. But she calls it razzle, dazzle, frazzle. And I kind of stole her line. Because all I do, if you want to get stock in companies, if you want to get people to respect, even if you don't know how to do this stuff, right? If you can learn how to talk about it, people will give you money. They'll give you companies. They'll give you stock. They'll give you everything because they just are so mesmerized by the razzle, dazzle, frazzle. They are. Now, if you don't eventually deliver on those promises, that kind of goes to shit. But it's a good idea if you could deliver on it. So the secret selling system this weekend, here's what you're going to learn to do. You're going to learn to identify your perfect prospect. You're going to learn to bribe them for permission to sell them. You're going to learn how to convert them to buyers before you sell them. You're going to learn to convert them to buyers before you sell them. You're going to learn a flawless 21-step pitch, which I've used to do everything forever. I mean, probably for the last 10 years at least, and that $200 million is kind of bullshit. I've sold a lot more now. I know I have. I just don't want to claim any more than that. But I've sold hundreds of millions of dollars with this one simple 21-step pitch. It's morphed over time, and it's just morphed again. It just went through another morphing, so I'll talk about that. But you're going to learn how to make this pitch that just never fails. You're going to learn how to increase the immediate profits on every one of your sales, not just through upselling, cross-selling, but a number of other ways. And the difference between an immediate profit increase of 7% and an immediate profit increase of 700%. There's a pretty big delta. All right? And you're going to learn how to get your regulars to buy from you more often. So the system's not hard. It works fast, and it works every friggin' time I've ever used it, no matter what I'm selling. It don't matter. So if you look at the math, it looks like a ViewSonic monitor. What the hell? If you get 3 times more leads, you make 3 times more money. If you get those leads to convert 3 times better, you make 9 times more money. If every sale is 3 times more profitable, you make 27 times more money. And if they come back 3 times more often, you make 76 times more money, a 7,600% increase in profits, right? You can screw that up a lot. You got a lot of room to screw it up, right? If you do 10% of it, if you do 10% of what you pick up here, you're going to grow your business 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 times. And you're going to do the same with every business you ever touch. And pretty soon, people will seek you out. Ask Jenny, who fields all my emails and phone calls and all the crap that I get. People seek you out when they know you can sell something. It's a certified no-shitter. Certified, by the way. In fact, the law of exponential growth is a mathematical certainty. There's no way to argue it. So during this training, you're going to learn the system logic and psychology. That's what we're going to talk about this morning. The mechanics and the technology. You're going to learn how to create a parallel communication funnel, which means that nobody talks about that, by the way. Everybody talks about creating sales funnels. If you've got a sales funnel and you don't have a parallel communication funnel, your sales funnel's only going to perform at about 1/3 what it should. Right? In other words, the way you're talking to them has to be involved in the sales process in the funnel. It has to be parallel. It has to be running alongside of it. All right? The conversation needs to be the same as the message that you're putting forward. Because if you're telling a chick, hey, you want to go get a cup of coffee, and when she gets to the restaurant, you're sitting there in your underwear with a glass of wine, sometimes it works out. Right, Lance? By the way, Lance can get you laid. Anybody wants to get laid, the guy up front, Lance can get you laid. Not first, because he'd be tired. You're going to learn how to automate the whole process. The most important thing that I want you to come away with is why it all works. Why it all works. And you'll have the ability to do it over and over and over again.